Hello and welcome to ADU Jumpstart. Today, we're going to show you how ADUs are basically backyard gold and how you can start making big profits this year. I want to kick things off with a little game. Here is a property located in Kirkland that we ran a feasibility test on. The asking price was $600,000, and our recommendation was to remove the manufactured home and replace it with a 3,000 square foot single family residence and a 1,200 square foot DADU. Now, what do you think the ROI could be? Do you think it's under 50%, around 75%, or over 100%? Are you ready? Okay. The estimated ROI on this project is 272%, nearly $1 million in net profit. And I know that sounds too good to be true, but that's all thanks to our ADU team that is dedicated to finding unique deals just like this one. And the real kicker is that investors can do this with just 5% down. So you might be asking, why now? Why are ADUs such a big deal? Well, Washington State is currently experiencing one of the worst housing shortages in the country. By the year 2044, we need over 1 million new homes. In order to address this, the state has passed a couple different bills incentivizing developers to build additional housing units, in particular, ADUs. And as of June 30th this year, those laws have gone into full effect, meaning that it is easier than ever before to build ADUs. The first of these bills is House Bill 1337, commonly known as the Accessory Dwelling Unit Bill. The main advantage of this bill is that it allows for up to 2 ADUs per lot that allows for single-family residences in urban growth areas. The second of these House bills is House Bill 1110, commonly known as the Middle Housing Bill. This bill aims to increase housing density by allowing for more units per lot, even allowing up to 6 units on some residential lots. The other advantage of this bill is that it also allows for an increase in housing types. So, for example, duplexes, triplexes, townhouses are now allowed in even more areas. The combination of these two bills means that zoning and development standards are now way more investor-friendly, and restrictions such as lot coverage and setbacks are now significantly relaxed. And finally, parking requirements are way more flexible, meaning that ADUs are viable on even more properties. These bills mean less restrictions and less headaches for investors, making now the prime time to invest in ADUs. So let's break this down. What is an ADU? ADU stands for Accessory Dwelling Unit. It's essentially a second home that is accessory to a main unit, and they both exist on the same lot. Now, there are a couple different kinds of ADUs. The first one is an AADU, or Attached Accessory Dwelling Unit. This can come in the form of a basement or attic conversion, or an addition to the existing unit. The second kind of ADU is a DADU, or Detached Accessory Dwelling Unit. This can look like a backyard cottage or a detached garage conversion that is completely standalone from the main unit. Both kinds of ADUs are now legal in most residential areas, both add massive value, and both create cash flow. In other words, you can have 2 or more income-generating properties on one lot. Here are some examples of how much these ADUs are going for. These are ADUs designed by one of the architecture firms that we partner with, Microhouse. This is the Greenwood condo, which sold for $890,000. And this is the Ravenna condo, which sold for $1.2 million. These are real numbers, real deals, and you can get in on this too. Here is how we make that happen. Most lenders want 15 to 20% down on investment properties, but with Pacific Equity and Loan, you can get started with just 5% down, including construction financing. An example of how this could work is, say you want to purchase a property for $750,000 and build an ADU for $150,000 for a total project cost of $900,000. Typically, this would run you around $135,000 to $180,000 before any fees. But with us, that is just $45,000 down along with any associated fees. This is a unique opportunity that we provide that is the difference between waiting years to save or starting today. At Pacific Equity and Loan, we have a turnkey process for getting these ADU properties directly into the hands of our investors so that they can get started right away. First off, we find properties in the greater Puget Sound region with ADU potential. Then, we look for their highest potential use and run the estimated cost and estimated profit. From there, we get the property under contract with a 30-day feasibility period. Then, we present the property to our investors along with access to our network of partners. This includes architects, engineers, arborists, you name it. Then, you do your due diligence and make sure that the project is the right fit for you. And if everything looks good, then we can help you fund and build it. The idea is that you don't have to do this alone. We can help you every step of the way to make this as smooth and easy as possible. All right, we have another game for you folks, this time led by another member of the team, Jacob.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, the VP of Sales at Pacific Equity and Loan, and welcome to our game of Deal or No Deal. Your job is to guess if these ADU products are going to be above or below 50% ROI. On the next slide, I'll go over an example deal that'll have all the numbers that you need to make a decision. Here we have our example deal, an ADU project in Seattle, Washington. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is the project strategy. What are we doing to the property and what's going to be the end result? As you can see here, we plan on keeping the SFR and building 2 DADUs in the back. The purchase price for this property is $852,000, and the total term length for the project is 12 months. As for construction costs, we have about $63,000 going into the SFR for rehab, and each of the DADUs will cost $365,000 to build. The ARVs for each of these, the SFR is planning to sell at $875,000, and each of the DADUs will sell for $600,000. Now, based on this information, what do you think? Will this be a deal or no deal? It's a deal. This project has a 50.72% ROI, so right above our 50% threshold. The net profit is about $150,000. Now, the reason why this is a deal is you can see there's plenty of margin between the selling price of the DADUs and the cost to build. The SFR is really just a wash and helps us get the deal, but the main moneymaker is building those DADUs. Now that you're all warmed up, we're going to move on to the next deal, where it's going to be your turn to guess, is it deal or no deal? Our first project is in Kirkland, Washington. Our project strategy is to keep the SFR and then to build an AADU and a DADU. The purchase for this one is $1.5 million with a term length of 12 months. As for construction costs, the SFR is pretty turnkey, so really we just have $8,000 going to condoize the lot so we can sell the AADU and the DADU separately. The AADU is going to cost about $370,000, and the DADU will cost about $433,000. Our ARVs, the SFR, we plan to sell it for $1.25 million. The AADU should sell for around $825,000, and the DADU will sell for about $990,000. So, based on these numbers, what do you think? Is it a deal or no deal? If you guessed deal, congrats, that'd be correct. This project has an ROI of 71.73% and a net profit of about $290,000. Now, if you were worried about the purchase price being too high, don't worry. Like I said in the example, there's plenty of margin between the cost to build and the selling point for the AADU and the DADU. So this one is a winner. Let's move on to our next property, and again, guess if it's going to be a deal or no deal. Here we have our second deal in Auburn, Washington. Our project strategy for this is to rehab the SFR and build 3 townhomes. The purchase price is only $350,000, much less than the project in Kirkland. As for construction costs, we plan to rehab the SFR with $160,000, and each of the townhomes will cost $487,000 to build. As for the ARVs, the SFR will sell for about $680,000, and each of the townhomes should sell for about $504,000 each. Now, based on this information, what do you think? deal or no deal. For this one, we have no deal. The ROI is a whopping negative 14.1%. So far below our 50% threshold. In fact, you're going to be losing money. We estimate that this project would cause about a $78,000 loss. Now let's go over why. Like I said before, we want to look at the margin between the selling points and the cost to build and the rehab. As you see with the townhomes, the margin is way too skinny, right? You might be able to make a little bit of money on the SFR, but once you factor in holding costs and other fees, this is going to be a loser. So let's move on to our third project now. Welcome to the final round of Deal or No Deal. Now, we're going to switch things up, and the stakes are going to get a little bit higher. You guys, on top of answering if it's going to be a deal or no deal, we want you to write down what you think the exact ROI is going to be. Now, whoever guesses the closest will get a pretty sweet prize. So make sure you're paying attention, and here we go. Our final deal takes us back to Seattle. The strategy for this one is to keep the SFR with its AADU and to build a new SFR with its own AADU. The purchase price for this is going to be $1.42 million. As for construction costs, we have $8,000 to help condominiumize the lot. The new SFR will cost about $367,000 to build, and the new AADU will cost $350,000 to build. As for the ARVs, the existing SFR and AADU should sell for about $1.15 million. So pretty below our purchase price of $1.42 million, but not to worry. Our new SFR will sell for about $870,000, and our new AADU will sell for $748,000. So, what do you guys think? Is it a deal or no deal? And what do you think the exact ROI is going to be? Go ahead, lock in your answers, submit them, and best of luck. If you guessed deal, congrats, that'd be correct. This project has an ROI of 69.38%, so I hope you were pretty close to that number. The net profit for this is $290,000, which is a pretty good amount. Now, even though the purchase price is about $300,000 greater than the selling point for the existing SFR and AADU, the margin on the new units is more than enough to cover that difference, your down payment, any third-party fees, and to still net you $290,000. So, as you can see, these projects and deals can be a little tricky to estimate on your own. That's why we have zoning experts on our team that are going to help us deduce what is the best use scenario for each of these projects. And of course, our calculator that's going to really crunch the numbers and give you an exact ROI and tell you, is this project worth your time or not? Now, of course, we only source the best deals that have at least 50% ROI, and we provide these deals to you guys as our borrowers. That concludes our game of Deal or No Deal. I hope you had a great time, and I'll see you around next time.
All right, folks, thanks for playing. Moving along to featured properties and how we choose them. We have specific criteria when it comes to the properties we choose. We are looking for ADU-ready properties, meaning that they're on flat, clear lots, free of topographical issues or critical areas. And they also have ample access. We're typically looking for corner lots or lots with alley access, so that way construction equipment can get to and from the potential build area easily. We're also looking at location, so North Kirkland, Seattle, anywhere with over a $700,000 ARV per unit. We're also looking for high returns, meaning projects must have over a 50% ROI or over $100,000 in net profit. We also strive for efficiency, meaning that we want projects that can be completed within 12 to 15 months with pre-approved plans. And finally, flexible exits. Whether you want to sell or refinance and hold, we want to cater our options to the investor and the project. These aren't just good deals, they're designed to be profitable and predictable. All right, now that you're more familiar with the opportunity and the math behind it, I'm going to hand this back over to Jacob.
Hello again. Now, most of the time, we source properties with ADU potential and bring them to our borrowers. However, I also want to point out that we fund ADU projects that are brought to us by our investors. In other words, whether we find it or you find it, we can make it happen. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at our first project. This project in Burien was purchased for just $370,000. The borrower is transforming it into not one, but two SFRs, each with their own AADU in the basement and a DADU in the back. The total project cost is $1.6 million, and when complete, the property is going to be worth over $3.4 million. That's over doubling the value in just 12 months. So, here's the breakdown. Each of the main homes, the SFRs, were appraised at $685,000, and the AADUs and DADUs were each appraised at $510,000. So, all in all, that's 6 income producing units, all funded through our ADU program. This is the kind of value you can create with the right financing. It's not just about building a home, it's about multiplying the value of the land, creating multiple doors, and maximizing returns. And the best part, this could be you. Now, let's check out the next one. Here's another example, this one in Kirkland. The borrower purchased this home for $1.37 million and is investing just over $400,000 into renovations. In phase one, they're lifting the main floor and finishing the basement, adding nearly 900 square feet of livable space. This simple remodel alone pushes the value to about $2.3 million. But the real upside? In phase two, the lot allows for 3 brand new townhomes, each around 1,300 square feet with 2 beds and 2 baths. So, with this single property, the borrower not only forces appreciation through the remodel, but also unlocks 3 additional homes for long term value. That's the power of strategic financing, turning one house into 4 homes, and one deal into multiple profit centers.
So, at the end of the day, here is why investors partner with us. We provide 5% down financing, pre-vetted ADU properties, zoning and development support, and one team from start to finish. Our mission is simple: to make ADU investing accessible so that you can start scaling smarter and faster. And here's what you can do to get started right now. First, move fast. Feasibility windows close quickly, so you don't want to miss an opportunity by not being proactive. Second, stay ahead. Sign up to be the first notified on new deals. And finally, get started. Scan the QR code so that way you can start getting connected with the team today. ADUs are in. The laws have changed and the opportunity is here. The only question is, are you ready to take the first step?